Hi. Now in this tutorial what I want to show you is how we can work out conditional probability from Venn diagrams. Conditional probability, this is where we have the probability of something, say A, given, that's that vertical line, another outcome, B say. So probability A given B, or probability of B given A, and so on. And in this last example I'm going to just involve three sets, and we've got a few questions here for you to answer which are a little bit more extended from what we have up here. Okay, well let's start to do some of these. Now I've given you three Venn diagrams up the top here where we've got just two sets involved, and each one is different. Now in the first one we've got two overlapping sets, and we could imagine that A and B say stand for number of people doing say a particular subject like art and biology. So just looking at this, we've got two people for instance doing art only, three people doing art and biology, four people doing just biology, and five people doing neither art nor biology. Now if we're asked a question like this, what's the probability that someone does art given that they do biology, A given B, then all we need to do is say, right, okay, they do biology, so how many people do biology? Well, we can see from here these people, 3 and 4, do biology. They're all in the set here for biology, so that's a total of 7 people. 3 and 4 is 7. So that means our denominator here is 7. We've got 7 people doing biology. Now out of those 7 people, how many do art? And we can see that out of these 7 people, only these 3 people do art as well. Okay, so it's going to be 3 out of 7. Probability that someone does art then, given that they do biology. So given that they do biology, how many do art? 3 out of the people doing biology. What about this one? The probability that someone does biology given that they do art. So we know they do art, so that's out of 5 people. That'll be our denominator. And out of those 5 people, how many do biology? There's our art. Only 3 people do biology. So it's going to be 3 out of 5. Okay, well here we've got another Venn diagram. This is a special case when we've got two sets that are apart from one another. This is often called mutually exclusive events, where two events can't happen at the same time. And in this one we've got 4 people doing art, 2 people doing biology, 1 person doesn't do both the subjects. There's nobody doing both subjects. So what about this one here? You might like to pause the video and have a go and then come back and just see if you've got the right answers. Okay, well if you did pause the video and have a go, let's just see if you've got these ones right. Probability that someone does art given that they do biology. Well, we know they do biology, so that's out of 2 people. But how many people do art of these biology people? Well, it's none of them. So it's none do art out of the 2 people doing biology. And that clearly is 0. And for this one, probability someone does biology given that they do art. Well, we know they do art, so that's out of 4. But how many out of 4 people doing art do biology? Well, clearly it is none. There's nobody in this set that does biology. So it's none out of 4, in other words 0. Now in this one, number 3, this is a situation where all the people doing biology do art. We've got here one person does art only, two people do biology, three people don't do anything. We often call B a subset of A. It's within A. And again, you might like to try these two examples. Okay, you can pause the video, come back in a moment and see if you've got the right answer. Well, okay, if you had a go, let's see how you got on. Again, we've got probability someone does art given that they did biology. Well, we know that they did biology, so there's only just two people doing biology, so that would be our denominator there, 2. But of these two people, how many did art? Well, both these two people did art because they're within A, so it's 2 out of 2 equals 1. Okay, it's guaranteed that if somebody's doing biology, they will be doing art. And what about this one? Probability of B given A. So we know that they do art. So how many people do art? Well, it's 2 and 1. Okay, a total of 3 people doing art. So that's our denominator here, 3 people. And how many do biology? Just the 2 out of all the people doing art. So it's going to be 2/3. Okay, now we'll come on to number 4. In this one, we've got, say, 3 subjects. A for art, B for biology, and let's say C for chemistry. And I've got all the numbers here of different numbers of people doing various subjects. Okay? Just quickly run through some of these. Just to remind you, one person here does art only. This 2 here is 2 people do art and biology, but not chemistry. The 5 do all 3. This 3 here, 3 people do biology only, and so on. 8 people. 8 people don't do anything. Well, I've got a few questions here that basically extend just these ideas up here only to a question with 3 sets, art, biology and chemistry in this case. So you might like to pause the video and just have a go at these ones, see how you get on. Well, let's just run through these. First one then, probability that someone does biology given that they do chemistry. So we know that they do chemistry, so how many people do chemistry? That's going to be our denominator. The number of people doing chemistry is in C. That would be to add up the 4, 5, 6 and 7. And if you add up 4, 5, 6 and 7, you should find you get 22. So 22 people doing chemistry. And of those people doing chemistry, what's the probability that someone does biology? Well, it'll be these 2 categories here, 5 and the 6. 5 people do all 3, but they certainly do biology. 6 people do just biology and chemistry, but nonetheless they do biology. So it's a total of 11 people, 5 and 6. 11 people do biology compared to those doing chemistry. Let's look at the next one. Probability of doing all 3 subjects given that someone does 2 subjects. Okay, so how many people do 2 subjects? Well, I haven't said 2 subjects only here, okay? So it's just doing those 2 subjects, given that they do 2 subjects. Now, that would be this 2 here. These 2 people do 2 subjects, art and biology. 4 people here do art and chemistry. 6 people here do biology and chemistry. But you've got to be careful. I didn't say just doing 2 subjects, that they do 2 subjects. Now, these 5 people here do 2 subjects. Okay, they do 3 subjects, I know that, but they do 2 subjects. So for the denominator here, it's going to be the sum of 2, 5, 4 and 6, and if you add that up you're going to get 17. 2, 4, 5 and 6 comes to 17. So that's our denominator. And how many of these people in this region in here do all 3 subjects? Well, it's these 5 people, so it's 5 out of 17. And for this last one, what's the probability then that someone does art and biology given that they do not do chemistry? Well, if they do not do chemistry, that's going to be the people outside of C. And that's going to be the 1 person here, these 2 people, these 3 people, and these 8 people. Okay, 1, 2, 3 and 8. They're the number of people that do not do chemistry. So if you add 1, 2, 3 and 8, that comes to 14, and that's your denominator here, 14. So of these people, how many do art and biology? So of these people, that's the 1, 2, 3 and 8, how many do art and biology? Well, it's going to be just these 2 people here. Alright, so that'll be 2 out of 14. Now I know that this cancels down to a half, and I know this cancels down to 1/7, but I'm just leaving them like that just so that you can see how I got my particular probabilities. Alright? Well, I hope that's given you some idea now how you can handle conditional probability from Venn diagrams. Well, that brings us now then to the end of this tutorial.